Hi, I'm Katie. This is Muddy Paint and Book. So it'll be a little weird and awkward because apparently I do awkward. Um, or we'll just go like that. Like my lighting is going to be very weird because it's my lighting for when I'm painting because it's very dark in here, and it's nighttime because it's the end of my day and I'm tired. But if I don't do a recording, it means that I'm going to end up sending or posting 2 videos where I'm very rambly. This may be a mistake. I don't know. This will at least be condensed into possibly a coherent thought. Um, so basically, I'll be looking at my very shiny light that's right there, going blind. It'll be fun, and I'll talk at you about books. So I do have 3 recordings about 3 of these books, but I'm gonna not post those. It's just I get distracted by a puppy like 3 times in one. Because I was at the park and it was a very cute puppy. And if you hear random clunking, I have either knocked my desk or it is the air fluctuating in the attic, also known as our mysterious third person that lives in the attic, that may or may not slaughter us, because that's fun. I think it's pigeons. They could be birds of some sort other than a pigeon. Or, I don't know, like one day we'll find out. Hopefully not tonight, because that would suck. I don't want to do that. That sounds like a lot of work. I've had a long day. But basically, I want to go over and probably condense all the books that I finished because I was behind in how many I wanted to read. Like, I've got a goal. Like, this year I want to read 80 books. Last year I wanted to read 50. I did 51. It was awesome. I had to race at the end. That kind of sucked. And I spent the first month this year just like recovering from too many, but like going back and rereading sections because I read it too fast or I listened to it without absorbing it appropriately. Like it didn't feel fair to the book. So, but this year I want to do 80. I am almost on task. Like a couple of recordings ago that I did not post was me trying to figure out how to catch up because I was behind. And like eventually I want to get to the point where I am throwing this creature up in the air, possibly hitting myself in the face. It sounds fun. With different prompts for reading. Because like I do have moments where like I have so many choices, but I can't seem to decide. I can't seem to focus on them. Like I spent 2020 just and a good portion of this year too with my library's online sales. Like they've got a group where they where where they'll sell the used books. And this during the quarantine they put it online. It was wonderful. So my click happy self went, it's 25 cents. I can afford it. It's 25 cents. That one's 25. I ended up having to buy 3 bookshelves just to fit them all because I have no self-control. And like there's a lot of them. Like that, you know how you're supposed to have books in one row? Some of them are like 2 books ahead because they're novellas. And then I've got like one shelf. Let's try this where you can see it. So one shelf with a row of novellas, and then in front of that, me running into things. And then another shelf. Because, yeah, it's special over there. But eventually what I want to do is have this baby, and it's wonderful. I got it for when I can't decide on what to paint. But it's working out okay for this. Eventually I'll have coherent, like, actual paying attention to what my plans are for doing videos, but today's not that day. Sorry. So I only have 4 prompts on here at the moment, mostly because the reason I didn't post the video was because I did the video and then the next day I did not do anything that I said I was going to do on it. Mostly because I realized that the prompts were ridiculous. The ones that I chose anyway. I kept 4. Mostly because these seem to be the ones that I'll actually pay attention to. So I've got something published after 2015, because I have a habit of reading books that are really old, mostly because they're free online without having to go into public and, like, find them amongst the public. And then a classic people always claim they've read, also usually free. Also online, and also not requiring social interaction. But mostly because it's kind of a pet peeve. Like, there's a lot of books that people claim they've read and they haven't, and I would like to be able to call bullshit. So, because I'm not petty. So Haunted by Her DNF, because I think I'm funny. There are a few books in this horde that I have started. Like Pillars of the Earth is giving me stink eye. I get to chapter 5 every single time, just to chapter 5. And then something happens, like I'll either lose the book will have something horrible that has happened to it, or it won't be available at the library. This time I own it. And I have kept it very carefully within, well, not within reach, but like just always where I can see it, so it can judge me from the shadows. And then the last one is something I own but I haven't started. If you have any other ideas for prompts, please comment below. I would love to add things. I've got 12 slots. So, like, I just need 8 more prompts. And I can switch them out depending. But it's adorable. I love him. It's just, it brings happiness. Anyway, so, last month I panicked because I was behind by like 8 books. Also, if I'm doing any really weird faces, I won't be able to tell until like after I've done recording. I'm nearsighted, so I can see that there's a blurry reflection of me. Yeah. Anyway, so I was behind. I did as many books as possible this last month, and I am almost completely burnt out. Like, I am going to just listen to Lord of the Rings for just a little bit, just to, like, recover. Like, if I can get the website that I listen to it on to behave. Anyway, so to be on task, I had to hit at least 49 books by the end of July. It's currently a little bit into August, but by the end of August, I need to be at 56 books. I'm currently at 50. I am just barely on task. But like, alright, So I've got 4 more that are on my to read. 3. I've started 3. 2 are audio. 1 is a hard copy, but it's from the library, and I did just renew it. Like, it'll be okay. There's a weird tapping sound, and I don't know where it's coming from. And now there's sirens. That's great. It's comforting. I don't know. If we get murdered, at least we're recording. It'll be great proof for it, depending on whether or not it gets deleted by the killer. Anyway, but let's see. I ended up doing, and this is relatively for July, like I was trying to catch up so much that I did not mark them all down on my Goodreads appropriately. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. It was a long. Most of them are audiobooks. Most of them were either free or like free with quotations. Like Audible will have a free book, but like Audible still costs money. And then, like, actually, hang on. Yeah, only 2 of these were hard copies. Oh, so actually, 15 books, because I wrote the 2. Anyway, so let's just dive in. So the first one that I have on my list is Have Sword Will Travel, written by Garth Nix and Shane Williams. Shane Williams? I always get that one wrong. Like, it's a small town in the South. Like, we pronounce things weird depending on how much the mom had when, like, how many pain meds she had when she gave birth. So, I've heard it both ways. If you know the correct way, please tell me. Like, there's no malice intended. I just don't. But Have Sword Will Travel. I loved this one. It was funny. It was adorable. It's a YA book about 2 friends who are like, they're looking for fish in the river, and they see something shiny, like definite Gollum, not Gollum, Smeagol and his best friend's moment, but without the murder. So they find an enchanted sword, and the sword decides that the one that picked him out of the water must be a knight. Like, it's a little boy accidentally sliced a finger on the sword, and the sword went, "You have knight blood in you." And little boy went, "But I'm a miller's son." And his best friend, she was mad because, well, she wanted to be a knight. She is training. She is working on it. Her mama was a knight. She wants to be a knight. And it's just great. Like, there's dragon. Well, there is a dragon. There's a dragon. There's just, it's an adventure book. It's great. And I think my favorite part of this is that it's a YA book with a male and a female lead who are preteens, and they don't have to be in love with each other. Like that, there's not even like an inkling of that. They're just best friends, and they can show affection without it having to be too mature. Like, that is the best part of this book for me. And then Owning It. Owning It is, well, it has more of a podcast feel. It's a collection of stories by the um, Pride by the Pride community. Um, so the ones that are leading it or presenting it are Nikki Levy, and Alexandra Billings. So they did amazing work. It's just they're a collection of stories that people wanted to share about themselves. So the first time I realized I was a lesbian, the first time I realized I was gay, how I lived my life trying to accomplish things in this world, and how I decided that I wanted to just be me. Like those stories. Anyway, but just the way that they present them, like, it's sweet. Just all the way through it. It's very short. It's, I think, like 2 hours long at most. But definitely, like, if you have, let's see, my favorite story is I don't remember who said it, but he wanted to be an actor, and it's the stuff that he wanted to do. He had a lot to battle with. I don't want to ruin it though. So if you do listen to it, the one that wanted to become an actor, him. I loved his story. And then next I've got Black Butler, Volume 1 and 2. So basically, when something's very popular, I will try to block everything out about it long enough so that it's free online, or so that it's at the library, or so that there is more than one season on TV. In this case, it's that I did that and then it was never available. It was either never available, or I didn't have enough or a strong enough Wi-Fi signal, or just on and on and on. So Black Butler is about a butler who is serving a very rich, prominent family, and they're slowly disclosing information about this family and what's going on, because our butler is very skilled, like spot on perfection everywhere, and then will suddenly do something that is just not normal. Like, there is no such thing as butler super speed in this state. Like, a really good butler can have super speed, but not like this. Like, this is demonic level. And I am enjoying it, especially the second one. In the second one, we are hunting Jack the Ripper, and I did not see that ending coming. Like, just, well, not until a certain point, and it did not happen the way that I thought it would. Just, like, and it's adorable, and it's funny, and there's lots of little jokes, and I love how they show, just the action symbols, or it's a manga, but the action symbols in it are in both English and I think Japanese. I want to say Japanese. If I'm wrong, eventually someone will tell me. But the decorations all over the place, they're just beautiful. Like, it, they remind me of tattoos. Just their rose bushes, spiraled with spider webs, and just they're pretty. And then, oh, I skipped who wrote it. That one is by Yana Toboso. And then the next I've got Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This one, I went in not knowing what it was about, because it was just one of the titles that's on those lists of books you should read before you die, or books that literate people read, or books that book snobs read, or it was one of those. And so it's about adultery and all the different responses, and so talking to my sister, she's like, yeah, it's a character study. I'm like, yeah, it goes really, really deep in depth. And like there's different standards. What's the word? You respond differently for when a husband cheats on his wife versus when a wife cheats on her husband. Like there's a different way that people behave. And this goes into that. And just, I enjoyed it, but it took me a long time to get into it, mostly because just when you disagree with some of the characters. But I forgot his name. So my way of thinking seemed to parallel along with I can't remember his name. This is what happens when you read too many books at the same time. Although my only excuse is that I'm also horrible with real people's names. Like I can give you a spot on weight, race, description because I draw. So that you can find them in a group of people or like in a lineup. Ask me to remember what their name was. It's not gonna happen. What will happen is I'll remember the name of their puppy and all the details about their puppy. Like, that'll happen. The rest of it, no. You're like, nope. They looked like a Jessica. I can't tell you more than that. But no, so it started with an L. Anyway, I'll move past it. But like this one character, he was rich boy who wanted to hang out with the peasants, and there's just a lot of funny moments that happen with that. Basically, it's like, yeah, I'm doing real work. I'm working the land. It's great, and his workers are just like, yeah, but dude, you're being weird. Can you? That's nice and all, but like, we gotta do this all day, and you're slow. It's already been. No, wait. 23 minutes. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I thought it said 43. So then the next book on this list is The Half-Life of Marie Curie. I didn't put who it's by. What I'll do is I'll put all of this below, or in the description. I'll put it in the description. So it's a play, but the way that this is done, because it's an audio book, is you know how they'll have stories on radio and they'll describe it that way, and it's almost like you can hear the stage play. You can almost hear like curtain move, stuff like that, or the feeling that you get when you read Cursed Child. It's almost like that, but with this one, it's about Mary Curie's life in a certain section of it, right? Like her husband died. She just got another Nobel Prize. Forgot the word. It's been a long day. She just got another Nobel Prize. And her affair with a married man was made public. So, like, they don't want her to come collect her prize at the ceremony. They want her to, just not show up. So, while the public are very angry with her about her and her adultery, because apparently I like that theme, I guess. So, like, there's a mob outside her house, and then her best friend, or I don't know if it's her best friend or if, like, they become best friends as things go along. But her friend, this one I have written down somewhere, because things that came out of this woman's mouth, at least in the, what's the word? At least in this, are amazing. Anyway, so her friend is, she's an electromechanical engineer. She's amazing. She is sassy. She's British. She, excuse me. When she comes in, there's a mob out of a Marisa house, like just outside her door, and her friend comes in, punches a few of them, gets inside the house, and says, "Honey, pack your bags, you're coming with me." Like, get the kids, and you're gonna come and hang out at my beach house for as long as you need. And just single line that this woman gets is amazing. Like, is definitely quote worthy. Definitely, like, I want to cross stitch this onto a pillow and then wait to see who realizes that it's sass. Just so let's see. But most of what she's saying, it's a pep talk. Like, she is worried that Marie is suicidal. And she's worried that she's dying and she doesn't know what's causing it. She's right. But it's about the half-life of Mary Curie. Mary Curie. I can almost talk, I swear. And the way that it's done is that they'll skip ahead a little bit, like their conversations between the two, and just see, one of the things that she says to her friend is, "You are falling apart, and the only way to recover is to start a new chapter. This is not the end of the book, but we have got to start turning some pages." So I made the mistake of listening to this on the drive home, on a curvy road at night. And one of the things that happens is Mary Curie talking about how sad she, if I cry, I'm sorry, how sad she is that she lost her friend, her husband. She lost her friend and she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to go on. And then I get home, I'm looking up the quotes, trying to figure out which ones are actual quotes, like actually by these living or have lived people, these real life people that actually existed, versus how much is fantasy. And so far, what I can tell is a lot of the lines are fantasy, but the concepts of how they would have spoken, not spoken, but like they would have said these things, not necessarily in this way. Some of the language is updated, but totally the same vibe from both. And so that part had me in tears. I get home, I'm looking up the stuff, and then I realize that my honey's late. And then my honey's really, really late. And then my honey's not answering the phone. And then he's not answering his messages. And then my battery said, let's die. Anyway, so what happened next was that then he comes in and goes, I'm outside. You couldn't hear me. I was working on the yard. I said hi. I talked to you. I was so deep in my phone looking at the quotes, I didn't even hear him come home. But like at that point, I was in full panic mode, trying to figure out where he was, like this close to leaving the house and searching up and down. I looked like a lunatic. Like my lunatic is showing. Sorry, honey. I blame the book. Anyway, but it was beautifully done. A lot of things that I get suggested on this, they were beautiful. They weave in and out of the scenes. Like it, in my head, what I was picturing was so I could picture the two women talking, and then every once in a while, like, the scenery in my head wasn't actual scenery. It was like cutouts, like if they were on a stage, but romanticized on a television screen, or almost like in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows when Hermione is reading the story, how that looked, but with live action actors blended into it. Like that was what was in my head for this one. And then we're getting really long. I'm really sorry. It was a long month. So next book is The Beast's Garden by Kate Forsyth. So I have a Beauty and the Beast obsession. And so basically if it has anything like that, I will totally read it. Without it, like, just, I have to. I can't not. This book got me to sympathize with the Nazi. So, with that said, The Beast, it's set in Nazi Germany just before all that hell broke loose. Like they didn't know what was going on, they didn't understand, and then it's as they're figuring it out, and it works its way through most of the war. And it's she's not Jewish, but she's friends with Jews. And he's like, our beast is definitely full on Nazi. But like he's not very happy in it. And the only thing that I would say is that it's not actually based on Beauty and the Beast. There's a collection of stories that are similar. Like this story is based on a story that is similar to Beauty and the Beast, in that there is a beautiful young maiden and there is a beast who is under a curse, and the maiden's the one that breaks the beast from the curse. But the feeling, like, I haven't actually read the fable yet, but the feeling I get is that it's that the beast is trapped in a situation, and it's based on the singing lark. It says it in their description, but basically it's a beast and a bird. The beast is trapped in this curse. The lark finds a way to free the beast and then break the curse. In this, it's about a beauty finding a beast, a man as a Nazi, and then trying to get him out of that situation. The only part I really disagree with in this book is that, you know, when you fall for a guy that you know your family won't approve of, and so you claim you were forced into that situation? Honey, she was not forced into this situation. She knew exactly what was going on. There was no forcing whatsoever. There's a moment where her father is taken. He didn't take her father, but her father got mouthy, and so the Nazis took him. And she goes to our beast and tells him what happened. He says, "What can I do to help?" He goes, he does all this stuff. He frees her father, doesn't ask for anything back, and but then she keeps offering herself up, and it's just like, he was saying it's fine, you don't have to do anything, and then they ended up getting married. But when she tells her Jewish friends about it later, it's I was forced to. There is a difference. That's not what happened. You just don't want to admit that you were in love with a Nazi. Just, I get it. But dude, that makes it... But it's definitely, he just got stuck on the wrong side of the war and didn't know how to get out. He figures it out on his own. They're very cute about it. This isn't a spoiler. This is in the description, which I felt like was a spoiler. I normally try to not read the descriptions past the first paragraph, which is why sometimes I'm disappointed. But, or in this moment where it's just... It's cute, though. They're both trying to rebel against the government, but not wanting to tell each other about it so that they can't be arrested and then tortured and questioning. Well, I don't think they understand, that's not how torturing works. They'll keep torturing you. It just doesn't work that way. Anyway, I'll move on because I got a long list. Alright. So, next book on my list is called How Y'all Doing by Leslie Jordan. This was amazing. It's just Leslie Jordan talking. Just him talking about his life and his experiences and what he thinks about certain things, and just thanking his fans for the wonderful life that he's had so far. And got a few quotes written down for that one too. I just want to... it's sweet. I'll read one. He said that he used to close all of his stand-ups with this. He said, "Happiness is a choice, happiness is habit, and happiness is something you have to work hard at. It does not just happen." And just, yeah. But I love how he talks about the different experiences that he's had, and just, it's sweet all the way through. I listened to the audiobook where obviously he was the one talking and reading it. I prefer when I've got audio biographies that are like that, and then you have the author reading it to you, mostly because if there's any, they ad-lib. I love when they ad-lib. or when they adjust whatever it was that they wrote down, like, we'll just tweak that. But also the way that they felt about it is heard more in their voice. So just, it's sweet. It's wonderful. It made me happy. Like, and then let's see. This one I had turned into a video. I did talk about this one. I think I posted this one. It's called Monster She Wrote: The Women Who Pioneered Horror and Speculative Fiction by Lisa Kröger and Melanie R. Anderson. So I'll be very quickly with it because I think this was the last one I talked about and actually posted, like completely posted. Yeah. So basically, it's a collection of different authors. It's a book talking about authors and their books. So it goes and it gives a quick blurb from like a sample of how they write, and then tells you who they are, a little bit about their life, and why they chose that person to mention her. Just and how this particular female author contributed to how we deal with horror and how we do. Some of it's regular horror, some of it's slasher, some of it's psychological, and some of it's just no one wrote a book like that before. Writes like that. And now a lot of people do, but they didn't before. It was new. Like that one, I would definitely I want a hard copy of it. Just to, because it's basically a large list, and I like lists. I don't have addictions. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so next book. I did do a video on this one. It's called Camilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. Bear with me. Anyway, this one's a vampire book. Technically, the book itself is not very smutty. Like, there are intimate moments, but like they're glossed over. But the audio, the audio has a lot of moaning, because there's a lot of we're gonna skip over the words we can't pronounce. Just there's a lot of moaning, all sorts. It's a very short story, a very good short story, very well made, both in writing and with the audio. Don't listen to it in public unless you want to embarrass your people that are with you. Okay, so I might do a video on the next 3, or I might just leave it at this because I'm lazy. So there's a series called Once Upon a Con, and basically it's a collection of characters, and they all go to a Comic-Con in this one area, and they're all, it's 3 different books so far. I have high hopes for more, but they're split into different fairy tales. Like it's real life, but like first book is called Geekerella, second is The Princess and the Fangirl, and third is Bookish and the Beast. Bookish and the Beast is how I found it, because I have an obsession. And it's cute. So it is solid nerdum. So modern day, it's a modern story. There's different couples. There's different types of couples. There's different types of relationships, different age groups. And it all is surrounded up around this Comic-Con that happens in this area. And the show that everyone is obsessed with that happens in space. So, and the actors, and just like Geekerella is about the daughter of the person who started the con wanting to go to the Comic-Con to go to the she wants to compete in the costume contest. Meanwhile, they're remaking the show into a movie, and our prince is from another romance genre and then stepping into this sci-fi genre, and the fans are mad. But the ones that know him from the romance genre are very happy. And they don't know what the space stuff is about, but they'll watch it because he's in it. You know, that type of stuff. The Princess and the Fangirl is about the original prince is his co-star in it. They are doing the next movie. She got her script. She is so annoyed that she got stuck in this stupid sci-fi thing again. And she loses the script. Someone stole it. And they're releasing it, and she is horrified that it's going to ruin her career, and they're going to find out. So she finds this girl who looks exactly like her. A few adjustments needed, but looks exactly like her, and they swap places. Also really cute. Like, I like the cute stuff. And then Bookish and the Beast is one of the actors who plays the villain in the space story. Like, he puts on an act as a bad boy. Like, he is this actor who plays handsome beings in these shows, and he pretends that he is a bad boy all over the place, and he pretends he doesn't care. He does this, and then he gets himself into a situation where he ends up having to his stepfather forces him to go into the middle of nowhere, small town. And while he's there, there's this girl who really loves books, and her father's a librarian, and they have a meet cute that is hilarious. And just, it's the pair working together eventually. It's just, I'm describing it badly, but I don't want to give anything away. Just, I love all the different types of relationships that are shown in this. There's my battery's dying. I'm almost done. So I love the different relationships, and I love the way that it's written. I love the banter between the characters. I love all of the nerd references. My only pet peeve is it's pronounced Kamehameha. Oh no, I'm messing it up. Kamehameha. Yeah. It's a ha at the end. That's all. That's my only pet peeve. Everything else, beautifully done. I forget how she said it. Also audiobooks. because I'll listen to them almost constantly. Like this is the longest that I've gone today without a book in my ear. And like I'm starting to, it's an addiction, but it's a healthy one till I look at my bank account. Anyway, the free stuff. We want the free stuff. All right, we're gonna speed up just a little bit. So Jericho is the next book by Anne McMan. Jericho, I accidentally found. So what I thought it was so there was a show called Jericho where it was basically Tomorrow When the War Began, but in America. And this is not that. This is the same town, but it's about a doctor and a librarian who have a meet cute in the very beginning, and they are both attracted to each other, but they don't want to say anything about it because they're both female. One, the doctor, is a lifelong lesbian, and then the librarian is currently going through a divorce. Like, it's still fresh, and she does not know that she is attracted to women, and she thinks this is weird. She also does not know that the doctor is gay. So it's just adorable the whole time. Like, they're crushing so hard on each other, and they don't want to say anything because they don't want to lose their friend. And like, it does get a little bit smutty, but like it's not too smutty. It's soft smut, totally soft smut. Like, there is so much more that could have happened, that could have been said, but it's soft smut. And they are so cute. Like, definitely a healthy relationships book. Like, this is how you talk to your partner. This is